Hi there, thanks for joining me today. I'm quite excited to share with you a very non-traditional baby card. And this is going to be a card I'm using for my workshop, Out with the Old, In with the New. So most of what you see here is actually retiring, and I'll indicate that as we go along. So first off, we're going to use the bunny from Bundled in Love. And so I've just got my Whisper White here, which is 1 5/8 by 1 5/8, and the bunny, which is here. Just going to ink that up with my basic brown ink, and I'll stamp that image onto my square. And then I'm going to use a technique using a blender pen and my Kiwi Kiss ink pad. So I'm just going to pick up the ink color on the ink pad. So I just squish that down, open up my ink pad, there it is. And as bizarre as it seems, I'm going to have a green bunny. So very non-traditional in color, but I just love this designer paper. So what you do is you're just going to pick up the ink, start by coloring, and then just drag that color along. Where you want it to be darker, typically underneath things or where shadow may lie, is kind of where you start, and then you just kind of color out. Now sometimes, so for example this guy who's half off the page, I might do a little bit of a shadow over this way just so you can see that color. And I'm pressing very, very lightly when I use my blender pen. So I just pick up my color and I'm extremely light, just going back and forth, back and forth. And again, as you color, the ink starts to fade. And lastly, I'll just do the face. So I'm going to do it my way here. I'm just going to color. And I like to even try and kind of go in the shape of the circle to try and get that arc or the curved feeling. And again, if I want it a little bit darker, I'm just going to pick up a bit more ink. Now you can only go over the paper so many times using a blender pen, or it'll start to peel your paper. So there is my bunny. And then I'm using the stamp Adorable, which is in the Warm Words, which is also retiring. So I'm going to just ink that up in basic brown. And I want that fairly close to the bottom of my card. So I'm going to stamp that before I begin my assembly. Okay, so now we are ready to assemble. My card is Kiwi Kiss, which is 5.5 by 8.5. I'm using the Hawaii Papaya, or Hawaiian Punch, I call it Hawaiian Punch, Hawaii Papaya Designer Series paper. This piece is 2 inches by 5 inches, and my chocolate chip is 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. I have a 3 by 3 square of chocolate chip, sorry, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square of chocolate chip, and a 3 by 3 piece of the Designer Series paper, which works out nicely because I get then 12 out of 1 sheet of designer paper from my open house. So I've got that. And now I have a 2 by 2 3/4 inch piece of chocolate chip and a 1 3/4 inch square piece of Tangerine Tango, which the colors aren't retiring, just some of these supplies that we're using. And I've got an Earth Elements button. I'm actually using the really rust color, but it actually kind of coordinates with the Tangerine Tango. So I'm going to apply that using Crystal Effects, and you just really need a tiny dab of the Crystal Effects. And I'll set my button on there and let it just sit to the side to dry while I assemble the rest of my card. And my bunny will, oops, just go on that square. And this little guy is actually 1 5/8 square, so it's not quite that 1/4 inch. And now I have a piece of Tangerine Tango ribbon. This isn't retiring, you've got that until the end of June. But I'm just going to tie that around my designer paper. Kind of sad some of the things that are retiring in this catalog, but excited to see what's coming out new. And I know some of you have already seen the new catalog, but I haven't got my hands on one yet. Okay, so I'm going to just cut that end here and cut this end here. Okay, so now I have my ribbon how I like it. And now I'm actually going to, I think, put this underneath. Yeah, I'm going to put that underneath. So I'm just going to apply some snail to the backs of this. And I'm just going to center that this way on my card. Okay, and now I'm actually going to pop this guy up. So I'm going to put dimensionals on my 4 corners. I don't tend to go overboard. I just tend to kind of make sure that the piece will stay, but I don't put one in the middle because you've got your layers of paper in the middle, and then it'll pop it up a little bit higher in the middle. So I don't tend to do that. I tend to just do my 4 corners to keep it level. Okay, we'll stick that on our card. Tuck our ribbon. I'm going to have the adorable just off to the left there, put that down. And now when our Crystal Effects dries, that will go on here, and I'll be right back to show you the inside. I stamped the duck from the same stamp set in the basic brown and colored it in with the blender pen. And then I punched it out with a 1 1/4 inch circle punch from Stampin' Up. And then I'm laying right now on a Kiwi Kiss 1 3/8 circle punch. And then I'm just going to label this onto the circle scallop punch. So I've just got myself a little decoration for the inside of my card. And now I'm just going to put some snail on this 3/4 inch by 5 1/2 inch piece of Designer Series paper. I'll stick this inside my card. And I'm actually not going to stamp a greeting just yet because I could either use this as a baby welcome card, or I was even thinking that I could do something for Easter with the kids' pictures in it. So I'm just going to leave this blank for now. And I hope you've enjoyed the card here. And oh, I can put my cover on. And again, this is Out with the Old, In with the New, retiring Designer Series paper, stamp sets, and buttons. The colors will all be here for the next catalog. So I hope you've liked it, and I hope you enjoy your day.